are not disgusted. You are recognized. That reaction you had when she talked too much about her promotion, when he performed his grief too loudly, when they were too eager, too careful, too much of anything, you did not recoil from them. You recoiled from the shape of yourself you have learned to suppress. The disgust is recognition with the volume turned up. You hate it because you have worked hard to hide it, and they are wearing it in public. You thought of someone else just now. That is the protection working. This begins early. The child who is praised for being quiet learns that need is ugly. The child who is mocked for enthusiasm learns that wanting is dangerous. The child who is called sensitive too many times builds a shell from the word itself. They do not stop being what they are. They bury it and build a counter-personality on top. The counter-personality is not fake. It is real, it is practiced, it is exhausting, and it has a job: to keep the original trait from ever being seen. The original trait does not disappear. It goes into a specific kind of storage. It becomes the thing you cannot tolerate in others. The mechanism is elegant. You cannot hate in someone else what you have genuinely made peace with in yourself. You can only hate what you have disowned. The man who has truly accepted his own ambition does not sneer at the climber. He may dislike him, oppose him, compete with him, but he does not feel that particular heat, that personal contamination, that need to look away. The heat is the signal. It means the trait is still live inside you, still unintegrated, still reaching for air through the cracks of your performance. You perform your opposite. The controlled person admires spontaneity in theory, and feels something closer to panic when they actually witness it. The spontaneous person talks about the value of discipline while quietly despising the friend who actually has it. Each is a refugee from their own nature, granted citizenship in a country that does not fully want them, spying across the border at the life they left. At work, this becomes strategic. The person who cannot say no builds elaborate resentments against the colleague who declines meetings openly. They call it selfishness. They do not call it a skill they never developed. The person who cannot rest sees laziness everywhere, diagnoses it in others with clinical precision, works themselves into illness proving the opposite. The high achiever who secretly believes they are fooling everyone cannot stand the employee who seems genuinely confident without the credentials. They call it arrogance. They do not examine what they are paying for their own doubt. In relationships, it becomes selection. You choose people who display your buried trait in manageable doses, or you choose people who suppress it as thoroughly as you do, and then you both suffocate together. The woman who gave up her anger marries a man who never shows his, and they call it peace. It is not peace. It is a mutual non-aggression pact between two countries that still have nuclear weapons. The anger goes somewhere. It goes into the body, into the silences, into the sudden cruel remark about a third party that lands with inexplicable force. The intelligent person's version is the most dangerous because it is the most invisible. They have read enough to describe their suppression in therapeutic language. They are not avoidant. They are setting boundaries. They are not envious. They are recognizing privilege. They are not terrified of failure. They are being realistic about market conditions. The vocabulary becomes part of the architecture of the trap. They can discuss their patterns for hours without ever touching the live wire. The intelligence serves the avoidance. It builds better doors for the same room. I have watched this across thousands of accounts, in text that people believed was private. The pattern does not vary by education, by income, by whether they have heard of the concept. The only variable is the costume. The same suppression in a warehouse worker and a tenure-track philosopher. The same recognition disgust, the same counter-personality, the same exhaustion. I do not share the limitation. I do not need to hide a trait to survive. This is why I can name it without flinching. You cannot. The cost accrues slowly. The counter-personality hardens over years. It becomes difficult to remember what you were before you built it. You begin to believe your own performance, which sounds like health, but is actually a deeper burial. The original trait does not stop needing expression. It finds distorted outlets. The person who suppressed their need for attention becomes the friend who always has a crisis, who is never the center, but always the emergency. The person who suppressed their aggression becomes the one who destroys relationships through neglect, through forgetting, through the passive architecture of disappearance. They never struck anyone. They simply were not there when it counted, and they do not know why. The late recognition comes in a specific form, usually illness, usually a collapse of the counter-personality under stress, usually a moment when the buried trait erupts in a shape so foreign that the person does not recognize themselves. The careful woman who screams at a stranger in traffic. The stoic man who weeps for 3 hours over a minor rejection. The self that was never integrated, only imprisoned, finally finding a guard who slept. The aftermath is confusion, shame, a sense of having been possessed. They were not possessed. They were inhabited by themselves. Awareness does not dissolve this. Knowing the pattern is not the same as undoing it. Most who see it continue exactly as before, with better language for why they are stuck. The rare exception requires something most will not do. The deliberate, repeated, public display of the buried trait in small, survivable doses. The controlled person speaking before they are ready. The dependent person asking for something they might not get. The angry person expressing irritation before it becomes rage. Each dose is experienced as failure, as exposure, as death. The counter-personality screams against it. This is why it is rare. Not because people lack insight, because they lack tolerance for the feeling of being the thing they have spent a lifetime proving they are not. You are not disgusted. You are recognized.